when even the poor call you poor?
Right.
You know what we wanted is bread.
Kids of nowadays don't understand that.
Which I'm not going to go into detail.
Well, I don't know, viewers. I don't know what she doesn't want us to go into. But
We are projected to build 25 houses, 60 water tanks, and 15 chicken coops. And also support those children, the students, 7 students in high school and 2 of them in college. I was so discouraged. Did I hear you, Lord?
Oh, yeah.
Even the ticket itself. Imagine the children of 3 years, 4 years. They had ugari the previous night.
Yeah.
With the turungi.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is TCTV1 USA. TCTV1 USA. My name is Tony Shira, and I am privileged to be hosting a very, very special guest today. I'll not go into trying to introduce her, but I will let my guest introduce herself, please.
Yes, sir. Hello, everybody. My name is Reverend Jane Wanjiku, residing in California, but I'm here in Washington, Seattle, visiting with the partners with the ministry that we take care of, Widows Ministry.
Widows Ministry. Could you tell us, how long has this ministry been?
Well, this ministry started a long time ago, if I may say, years ago. And but we launched it in 2010. Yeah, and I used to go to Kenya when I came to US just to do visit few widows and about 5 using my pocket money. But after that, I felt in my spirit the Lord leading me to do in a bigger way.
Right.
And that's when we launched it in 2010. We started building houses for the widows, chicken coops, and buying them water tanks.
We're going to go into details about that. Who is Pastor Jane Wanjiku? Where were you born and how did you grow up? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, Pastor Jane Wanjiku was born, I was born in Nyeri.
Okay.
Yeah, born in Hororo, Muhoya's location. Then as a little girl, we relocated to Moiga. Yeah, Moiga is not far. It's still in Kenya West. And that's where I was brought up, went to school there. Yeah, among 12 siblings. My father was a businessman. My mom was just taking care of us.
All 12 of you?
All 12 of us, and I am the firstborn. I always say that I am the John the Baptist in the family.
Right.
Yeah, in the family. And so I went to school in Keregoya Girls. Then later on, I went to Mirelike High School.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Talking about, let me just dwell a little bit on the 12 siblings that you guys were. How was it being firstborn, being a girl, and leading all the 12 of you, obviously as the example that they were looking to?
Yeah, it wasn't easy, especially the time that my dad died. But being the firstborn, one of the things I learned is the responsibility. Right. It comes with it. And as a girl, cooking for all those 12. No wonder I like cooking now. Oh, I learned to cook at a very early age. Right. Yeah, it wasn't easy. Yeah, but the last ones, I have not interacted with them so much because the gap was too... I'm the first girl, then I'm followed by 5 boys. Yeah, oh, 5 boys, yeah. Wow. So you can imagine... taking care of the boys, working together with the boys. I learned how to fight, how to be strong. Yes, how to fight your own battles. Yeah. Because if my brother kicked me and I would go and tell my dad, I would say, why don't you kick them too? Kick him back. Yeah, so I learned how to kick. You know, that is interesting because I was watching a small clip that is doing the rounds by President Joe Biden. Yes. And he was honoring his mother. Yes. And he said at one point that... when he was bullied by bigger boys, he was beaten. Yeah. And when he went home, the mother told him, bloody your nose, you know? You have to fight. I'm just hearing you speak about that. I'm thinking you're saying the same thing that your dad said. Because it's like you'll be reporting every minute. You are kicked, you are coming to kick, learn to kick. Right. Yeah, but later on, I learned that kind of being tough and fighting your battles. Yes. It helped me even when I became an adult. Awesome. Because the challenges are so much and you have nobody to call. Right. And when I became a stout Christian, I knew, he was teaching me how to fight the devil too. Yes. When he comes my way. Right. There are times you have really to stand and fight.
Amazing. The place that you grew up, you were born in, and then you moved.
Yeah.
Did you continue interacting with the people that live in the place that you used to be at?
Yes, actually, one of the things that happened, we were brought in the villages in Moiga. That means was very in the farms. Mm-hmm. And my mom, very social. And people knew her that she passed away about 2 years ago.
Sorry about that.
They knew her as a woman who was very social and very generous. So the saying is her kitchen was open to everyone.
Okay.
I said we were 12 of us, but she never cooked for 12 of us. It was always extra food.
Of course.
And the kitchen was open.
Right.
Even some people would come at midnight and they just there. The boys is just food.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So for me, I always went back and everybody was a brother. Everybody was a sister.
Awesome.
But after my high school and I came back. I came to US. That's why I came.
Okay.
I joined.
We're gonna come to the US.
Yeah.
But before coming to the US, tell us about your schooling. Primary school. How was that like?
That was hard. And we had a meeting somewhere, and somebody mentioned about walking to school without shoes.
Uh-huh.
And we used to walk from my home to the school, Bon. It was maybe about 4 miles.
Okay.
And we would go in the morning, and that time the weather was different than now. It used to be very cold.
Yeah, things have changed.
Our home is near the Abadeas.
Okay.
Yeah. And we would walk in the morning, very cold. You are barefooted, and go to the class. And then lunchtime, we'd go home to eat.
And then come back.
And then come back. Within an hour, you have gone and come back. And I wonder how we did that. Yes, and that's the way we survived.
It sounds like a story from the old books to people of today who can't understand. You're barefoot. Yeah. You're running 4 miles to go eat lunch and then run back to school.
Back to school.
Kids of nowadays don't understand that.
They don't understand, Sheila. And it's not just 4 miles.
Yes.
It's down the hill and up the hill.
And up the hill.
It's not flat. Yeah, you didn't need to go to the gym. You had the gym every day.
And you're still expected to perform well.
To perform well. My dad was so strict. There was a time I brought home 98%. Yeah, I think it was in English or literature. I was good in literature. I was good. He asked me, Wanjiku, where are the other two? Why didn't you get 100%? I said, wow. In school, you are being celebrated.
Yes.
But at home. So you could not. And that one also, I see it was a good thing because I aim to do even higher and better.
I usually tell people that my dad was one of those parents who you went to school to pass.
Yeah.
So if you perform well,
yeah,
that's okay.
That's okay.
Don't come expecting him to give you zawadis and presents and everything. He tells you.
Yeah. What did you go to school to do?
Yeah, you've done what you went to school to do.
Yes.
And for me, therefore, not wanting to be scolded, I just had to perform because every step of the way I tried to make him happy to see at what point is he going to give me a gift or something like that.
That's right.
So I'm getting the gifts in school, but for him it's just
You've done well. That's the life of the old days. It's good. I like it.
So high school, you go to Kirugoya Girls. I went to Chicago Boys.
Wow,
and I know it's probably some different years. But in Chicago Boys, we used to say that they bring in girls to Kirugoya Girls from the passport. They look at you and think you're beautiful. They admit you.
I did not.
And you're very beautiful.
Thank you.
And so could it be true that is a legacy that began a long time ago?
Maybe they were doing it behind the scenes. I didn't know, but no, we went there with grades. During our time, if you did not pass with the 36 points, let's say from 30 points, from Central, you could not go to a national school.
Right.
Yeah, you could not. But fortunately, I did my CP in Nyandarua.
Okay.
So it was easy to be admitted
in Kirugoya. Yeah, we used to call them Keru.
Kirugoya. But it was also a very strict, it used to be run by the Catholics.
Yes, yes.
It was a very, very, before it was Africanized, and it was strict. But I love it. Because that's why we are here. Yeah, so, the discipline was good.
Right. So were you still saved at that time? Were you still like God's child at that time? What was it like at that time?
You know, the way you think you are brought up in church. Just like I was telling somebody, you know, you cannot be parking. You go to the car garage, you are parked there for the whole night. You are not going to come up with as a car.
Yeah.
See what I mean? But we had this belief that you go to church, we are brought up in PCA. Yeah, my grandmother, my mom, strict Christians. Yeah, and my dad was a Christian, but he was not a church goer.
All right.
But do you know we were caned and beaten because failing to go to church? But with my dad, but he never went. But he was a great giver. Also, he built one of the churches there. Actually, he gave all the materials to build. He had a builder.
Nice.
To come to your question, I believed in God because we had to pray every day.
Right.
But looking at it, I don't think I had given my life to Christ. I was just joining everybody as a Christian.
Yeah.
And going to Kilauea Girls, which is a Catholic church, and a Catholic school, and we are doing the Rosario kind of every day.
Prayer, yeah.
And looking at it now. But later on, through life, then I just give my life to Christ, and I wonder, why didn't I do it before?
All right.
Totally sold out for God.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I tried going to the YCS when I was in school. I grew up as an Anglican. And so in school, you know, the YCS team used to go like outside the school compound because the church was right outside.
Yeah.
So I tried to go there just to be out of the school. So I tried to join. But when I went to the church and they start praying, then there's this time when they're going all the way down to their knees. I'm thinking we're going to sit.
To sit, you sat down.
I'm left sitting.
Yeah, those experiences.
Yeah. So did you have those kinds of, you know, conflicted...
Yes. Coming from the PCA kind of the prayer,
Yeah.
the way we do the prayers, we were forced to go in the morning and in the evening. Yeah, we had to go to church. And, the Rosario, Hail Mary. So that's what I was saying. I wasn't saved because there was no fear of God.
Okay.
We could just make jokes about it.
Right.
Repeat after me. We repeat, as I said before, Hail Mary, you repeat 7. I don't know how many 7 times.
Yes.
So instead of repeating, you say, as I had said before. I wouldn't do that now. Yeah, but you know,
that is the funniest thing that I've heard in a long time.
There was no fear of anything. It is like a joke. It's like there's no God in you. It's not. That's why I say we are not saints.
Come on, Pastor Jenny,
because the things we did, there's no fear of God.
As I've said before.
Yes. Hail Mary, as I said before, because we are supposed to repeat so many times.
Oh my
You
goodness.
don't repeat, you say, as I said before. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. When do you get saved?
Yeah, actually, I got saved after when I went to high school. I went to Mileliki. Girls from 5 and 6.
Oh, okay.
It's also a Christian church and Christian environment. And I realized, you come to realize it's not, other things are not so important. And also, that's why it says, train a child the way they would go. They'll never depart from it.
Yeah.
So it was not like new to me.
Yeah, because you had grown in that environment.
So it's like only commitment. I committed myself totally. And then I could join even the studies, Bible studies, and I got stronger. And I'm still growing now. Yes, but that was the start. The gear started that time.
Great.
Yeah.
Was there a trigger point to you getting saved?
Yeah, the trigger point that got me saved is when my dad died. Because I was in Form 6, waiting to do the exams and prepare for the university. And it was not easy. It was so hard. And I remember I have one of the roommate who was a staunch Christian. And we used to study together. And she could tell me, you pray. And I would pray the shallow prayers. And she was Pentecostal. I said, this is a different kind. And Sheila, one of the things I know, God calls people even before they are formed in their mother's womb.
Right.
I was very good in religious education.
Oh, nice.
I could narrate those parables even when I was in Kilauea Girls.
Right.
I did very well actually in O-level.
Right.
So God was stealing the knowledge of the Bible, not knowing later on, I'll be a pastor.
Yeah.
The knowledge is still there.
Yeah.
The only thing, there was no Holy Spirit. Because the letter killeth, the Spirit gives life. So after that, I just felt, and she encouraged me. And then and then there was one of the preachers that came, used to come and have revivals. And then I said, this is it. This is it. And you know what? After that, I used to give myself to Christ all the time. Every time they called an article, I was there. Every time they called, I was there. I made sure that I am truly saved. Nice. I wanted to be saved.
Nice.
Even the charges, and people could not believe. Even now, because when I was in high school, I was in Kelogoya. I was a little bit rebellious with the kind of fighting my battles. Yeah,
you were
people
made of boys,
saw me as a tough girl.
Yeah.
So the Christianity brought some humility, not weakness, but some humility, knowing that the way I would answer back is I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
My demeanor changed.
Yeah.
The way I do things.
Right.
So then I don't even know how I became stronger until I felt like I really need to do the work of God.
Right.
Yeah.
So you clear high school, go to the university.
I didn't go to the university in Kenya. I enrolled in some courses, but it didn't work so well. There were some other challenges there in life as young people, and which I'm not gonna go into detail.
Well, I don't know, viewers. I don't know what she doesn't want us to go into, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, those details, things, challenges about that. But I got an opportunity later on to come to US.
Right.
And I landed in California. Okay. That time, what I did not do in Kenya, I came
and did it in California.
Yes.
Right. What year was that?
In 1986, before you were born.
I was born.
Oh, you were born?
I was actually 20 years. I was 10 years old at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I am a grandmother of 4.
All right. You make me want to ask you. Now, you grew up in a family of 12.
12.
Did that affect the size of your own family, like the number of kids that you wanted to have?
How did you know that? Yeah, that's true. I used to tell my mom I would not, if my children would be many, if the kids I get is 5, but I wanted 3. But I got 2 girls. I have 2 girls.
Wow.
I have 2 girls because there's a lot of challenges. I used to see that preparing the meal for all those children coming from school, it was too much.
Right.
It was too much. And I said, no.
You don't want
I don't want. Yeah. And I settled for 2. Maybe I could have got more, but they just got 2, and they're beautiful girls. Was good. Yeah. And they have made me to be a grandma of 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So them they are taking after you.
Yeah. Nowadays kids they don't. Yeah. But yeah.
Right. So tell us about this ministry. When did the ministry begin, and what made you start thinking about the widows?
Yeah, going back to, I was in Merrick Girls, 1976, that's when I did my A-level.
That's when I was born.
Yeah, see, yeah. I did my A-level. And that year, in November, when I was preparing to do the exams, my dad passed away.
Sorry about that.
And being the firstborn, even when I said that we were walking to school barefooted, for us in the village, we are doing well. It's only my dad did not want to spoil anyone.
Of course, and again, you don't want to be in school and you have to be like anybody else. You're the only one that is wearing shoes.
I would say he was a businessman, so we were okay. And that time, somebody having a car, business,
That's a big deal.
It was a big deal.
That's a big shot.
Especially when I went to Kelogoya Girls, he drove me there.
That's a big deal.
When I came to Mererike, he brought me to Mererike Girls, so I was okay.
Yeah.
I was all right. But when he died, coming from that life, it was very painful. Because within a year, Sheila, we were down there. Down.
Really?
Yeah, all my brothers who were older enough to go to school, we were never kicked out of school because of school fees.
Right.
But after my dad died, everything is like died with him. He was a businessman. My mom knew nothing with the business, doing the business.
So she could not take over.
Yeah. I can't say stay home because she was taking care of the farm.
Right.
That. But with the businesses, and you know that also, whenever I come across men who are doing businesses, I always tell them, let your wife know what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we lost a lot. We were young. Nobody knew anything.
Right.
We all know the school is paid. If you need uniform, you need a new dress, Christmas, you need this, we are given. Food, never. And also, my dad had bushels there with things like, you know how children cry because of meat? Our meat was every day.
Right.
You know what we wanted is bread. My shosho, my grandmother, when she came home with the bread, everybody was rejoicing, not meat.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
But when he died, those things became luxury. Yeah,
Wow.
we could only see them from a distance. From a distance. So the struggles of life.
Right.
Later on, the door was open. I was looking forward because I still wanted to go to school. I still wanted. The responsibility was too much. I remember it was so bad when my dad died. Like my brother, the third one from me. You know that time the kids, you could go to school in the morning and the others go in the afternoon.
Yeah, like the lower primary
They don't
kids
go in the afternoon.
yeah.
So my brother would in the morning, and then in the afternoon, the one who would go in the afternoon would wait for the one coming to change the uniforms.
Oh.
So they can, yeah.
Wow. That's
We
an
could.
interesting
That's how we went down.
one. What?
Yeah. We were seen in the village, people doing well. Yeah. Actually, most of the children that were born there, my dad is the one who took their mothers to the maternity. So we were
Yes,
he was so appreciated in the area. Very, yes. He was a giver and helping the community. So it's like everybody was affected when he died. And they could see these children. Yeah. Now look at there. We are even worse than the ones that we were helping.
Oh, no.
You know when even the poor call you poor? The very poor, when a poor person calls you poor,
You are
then
poor.
you have little poor.
Oh, no.
Real poor. Yes. Yeah.
So this is what triggered you to thinking about widows.
Yeah, this is what triggered me to do to think about it. So it was when I came to actually after that let me go back to that. My mom became a prayer warrior. I think she was praying even before praying for us. But after my dad died, I could hear her talking about the scripture in Isaiah 54. That was her scripture. When her husband died, the wife, Jehovah becomes the husband.
Right.
So she could cry and pray to the Lord that take over these children.
Right.
And in the book of Psalms, it also says that the Lord becomes the father of the fatherless.
Right.
So we saw God helping even us through prayer. Neighbors would help pay the school fees. Things started turning around because of the help of even her brothers, her uncles.
Right.
And so when I came to US, I didn't even know it's a calling. I have a calling in me. I was ready to go to school, fulfill what I did not fulfill in Kenya, be a better man, a better mother. Because by the time I came, I already had the girls. I already had the two girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I left them in Kenya. Then later on, they joined me. They joined me here. So whenever I went back to visit them and go visit my mom, I was led to go visit the widows.
Right.
Without knowing it's a ministry. I would ask my mom, how is Mama so and so? With my little pocket money, I would buy groceries. Yeah, little groceries like sugar kilos and what, and go visit them. And I did for a long time.
Okay.
Until 2010, when I was visiting one of them, I had the Spirit of God telling me, actually it's a voice, but you know when you say voices, people, they think otherwise.
Yeah.
But I had that voice myself. Nobody can tell because I had it. I was just going through the gate and I had a voice behind me. Wanjiku, what you're doing, do it big. And I looked back, there was no one.
Wow.
Nobody talking to me. Later on, and the voice was repeated again. Yeah, he spoke again to make sure I get it. Then I realized because there was a time I knew that voice I was called. God had talked to me about preaching. The voice spoke to me, but you know, those days I didn't care about the preaching.
Yeah,
but
I
recognized that voice.
I was speaking with the immediate former Consul General, Big Ted, who was here. And he was telling me that sometimes, like he has gotten to a point where he now recognizes God's voice.
God's voice.
Because sometimes he speaks, but you don't know he's spoken to you.
Yes, you don't know his voice. Yes.
And it's amazing when you hit that point and you realize, that is God.
That's God.
You know, and it may not be relevant to someone else.
It might be, yeah. People look at you how.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you know, you know. Actually, the Bible says, "My sheep, they know my voice." You have to be in a level that God's sheep.
You have a relationship. You have to be the sheep.
Then
and he has to be the shepherd.
Yes. You
so
have
that
the
you can understand.
Then you can recognize his voice. And yeah. So that time, the voice told me, what you're doing, do it big. Not just few, 2 widows, 3 widows. So we had gone, all of us, my other brothers and sisters, we all scattered in other states. God answered our prayer. Nice. Answered my mom's prayer. So that day, I went home, my mother's, and started writing. It was like God was speaking to me. He told me, teach them Isaiah 54. The same scripture.
The same one that your mother used to preach?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same scripture. Yeah. Okay. And I had read it so many times.
But it had not made so much sense.
No, it didn't make any sense to me, yeah. But this time it did. So I started reading that, the scripture. It said, you tell the widows. Tell them. And actually, he did not call them the widows. He called them my wives of Jehovah. Because when a husband died, he marries them. The Bible says, I become their husband. So who are they? Yeah, they're the wives of Jehovah.
Right.
So the understanding was totally different. Right. Yeah, so it was 2 weeks before I came back to US. So I asked my sister, can you help me, who lives in Kenya? Can you help me invite all the widows allowed here? Next Saturday, we can have a cup of tea. So I didn't give the details. I just wanted to hear. Do you know the first meeting we had 80 widows, 80.
What?
80. And I knew all of them. I knew that is so-and-so, that is so-and-so from the village. It's not from the whole Kenya, just from the villages, from the other side, yeah.
Isn't that scary?
It was. So the Lord knew. 80. We had to put a tent. We had a tent there. And I was we had just prepared a few bread. I had to send somebody else to get more bread from the store.
You know, because I see so many widows, have we thought about why are there so many widows? And when you call, like one time I was in church, ACK, Emmanuel Church in Gangara, which is where I go when I'm in the village. And one time they called the widows and then they called the widowers. And the widowers were just like, just like 5, I think. But the widows were like 20.
Yes.
Why are men dying before?
Men die before, yeah, they die. And also, even when they become widowers, I had maybe give them 1 year and they will remarry. I was asked that in one of the Kenyan TV.
Okay, so that's an interesting twist.
Yes.
That's an interesting twist.
Yes.
So they stop being widowers because they remarry.
They remarry, they are not widows.
But the women do not remarry.
Most of them, they don't. My mom did not remarry, and she was not even 40 when my dad died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she had married at a very early age. As beautiful as she was, she never. Yeah, and she worked hard to take care of her children. Well, women, the worry is, if I get married, what about these kids? These kids.
Is this other family? Is this other person going to accept them?
And when they realize the Lord will take them, they are so down to the Lord, and He never let them down. The Lord will come through, and that's why He raises people like me to go to be His representative.
So, thank you for that. Now, you have 80 people you know.
Yeah.
All widows.
Yes.
You just call them to have tea.
So I can tell them what the Lord said.
Let's go on.
Yeah, the Lord told me that to teach them and also cause them to be praying. Because one of the things we realized, they are sidelined and they become very lonely and become very vulnerable. Because anybody can come in the name of encouraging them, supporting them, then you feel they take advantage. But when they have the support system, they feel and they're empowered and accountable also, accountability.
Right.
So I told them, I said, we are not alone. Yeah, Isaiah 54, and I told them to memorize it, to study it. And we said every minimum once a month you meet for fellowship. Eat together, have a cup of tea, and pray.
Right.
And that's what they were doing. So that's how they started. Then at the mid of it, they see others. They say, okay, Mama so-and-so
is doing this and that.
Is doing this and that. The other one, her house is leaking. Right. Her house is falling apart.
Right.
That's how we started the Widows Ministry.
Wow. Yes. We're going to take a short break right there. And when we come back, we're going to know what has the ministry achieved so far and what it has been like since this ministry began. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pastor Jane, and we are on TCTV1 USA and the Tony Shira Show. Please join us after this break.
Amen.
It's about time. TCTV1 USA. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, viewers from all over the globe. This is TCTV1 USA. My name is Tony Shira, and you're also on the Tony Shira Show. I am sharing these microphones with Pastor Jane, who has a mission that supports widows back in Kenya. Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Pastor Jane.
Yeah.
So you have a mission now. You have so many widows. Yeah. And others are telling others there is this lady who is doing ABCD. Mm-hmm. You're now starting to learn it's not just about being lonely.
No.
It's not about school fees. There are also those without houses.
Yes.
Can you give us the whole spread of the needs that you've encountered at that time and even as you've started now growing into this ministry?
Actually, when they met, after a week, I came back to US. Mm-hmm. And I told our group, we have a prayer meeting. So I was still preaching, doing conferences. Yeah, I was still a preacher in the US. So I'm having a prayer line, so many states representing us. So I told them, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. They didn't know there is anything with the widows. I just told them I was doing small and small. I told them this is what happened.
Yeah, probably just before we go into that, I'm interested to know, like, your church where you are preaching in California, did you have how did that happen? How did you start preaching in the US? I mean, like, I'm just curious. Like, you've just come from Kenya, and maybe you're in college. I don't know that part.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I would like you to take us through, like, when you got to the US, how did you end up now preaching in the US?
When I came to US, because of the challenges that also I had in Kenya, and coming from a background from a praying mom, we started praying in our house. The house we rented, and in 1992, actually we started meeting on Thursdays, just prayer. That time, may I say that California, we were not so many Kenyans. They were there, but not as they are now. Okay. So it's like almost everyone, most of them were coming for prayer. They would come with their scrubs and go to work. After prayer, they would go to work and with their children. And it's from there, I was still working and I was still going to school at the same time. It is from there they started inviting me to preach. Okay. The gift starting unfolding.
It starts to pop.
The way you pray, the things you do. They say, hey, she has a gift. It's a gift. And we'll do even meetings for our Kenyan pastors when they come here, without mentioning the names, but most of them, they came and we organized meetings for them. So also I got exposed to them so much. So when I would go to Kenya, I would be given the platform. Many churches, actually most of those big churches are preached. Most of the churches there. So that way, I developed this thing. I said, hey. And I remember there was a time the Lord had told me, I want you to go tell people about my good news, the good news. So I knew there's a calling there. So I don't have a church in California. Okay. But we are focused more on the prayer meeting and doing conferences and going to preach when I'm invited to preach. Okay.
Yeah. So the people in your network, these are people that started coming to your prayer meetings and they knew what mission you have. Yes. And they now started like chipping in and coming in to support.
Yeah, coming in to support. And we started slow. It was not easy to convince people that you have a project there. Yeah. And I didn't know it would be big. I was like, oh, maybe just go help the widows. It is not much I've been doing with my pocket money. Yes. But when the Lord said go big, He also prepared people to support. Right. So when it came to building the houses, people were helping, but it wasn't easy. The first house, I remember, we tried to get money. We had a meeting. We passed the basket, but it did not even... I was so discouraged. Did I hear you, Lord? Oh, yeah. Even the ticket itself. But we did not. And actually, I remember that time I went to Kenya and I was visiting in somebody's house and were guests there. And they were told, this is Pastor Jane Wanjiku. She takes care of the widows. And I came and built one house. Do you know one person asked, you mean you came all the way? Yeah. People can discourage you. From California. California is far. Right. California to Kenya is not like when you're coming from a central country, because it's the States. Yes, to build one house. I told him, even if it's a door,
Oh, yeah.
God gave me the wisdom to answer that question.
Right.
Even if it's a door I came or a widow to come, I just put a door. I'll go fly back and bring another door.
Yes.
And bring another one
Right.
until we are done.
Right.
Do you know after that, that's why it's good to hear the voice of God. When I was just going out to the car, the Lord told me, it will never happen again. Nobody will ever ask you that question again.
Right.
And nobody asked me because after that they could see. We raised from 1 house to 5 to 10, yeah, to 15 to 20. Do you know right now we have built 206 houses? That's what we are. It is not good to give up. When God has spoken, you did it.
What is coming to my head is that for you to have to build 200 houses, it means one of those challenges that widows then face is housing.
It's housing.
And I'm thinking about it because, women are not endowed with those, capabilities to actually put up structures.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the Nilotic communities, I think it's the Maasais or Samburus, where the women are the ones who, build.
Yeah.
The rest of the Bantu communities, women do not construct.
And that's why we come in, this is not just about handouts, houses. More is based on the scripture, the Bible. We want to teach them spiritual things.
Right.
Because it's God's calling. We still dwell on Isaiah 54. When the husband dies, the Lord becomes the husband. So a good husband, when they see their wife, the house is falling apart, what do? They build.
They build, yeah.
So I'm telling because of that, these widows, not of them are Christians. Because of that, more than 300 widows have given their life to Christ.
How many widows are you dealing with?
We are dealing over 4,000 widows now.
My goodness.
We are in 7 counties, but our goal is to go to the 47 counties. We are in 7 counties now, mostly the central, but we are also in Makueni. We are in Makueni, and also right now we are open another one in Nyandarua. And we also in the Ebu, we are going even next. We are going next.
Oh, really?
Next this time in June.
Nice.
Yeah, but we decided not to spread thin. At least we focus on the few 7.
You have to begin somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere now. But it's not like we are done with all the widows. They're poor. We still have a lot of need. Those 206 houses, most of them are in Laikipia County. Yeah, and then Nyeri. And we have some in Kirinyaga. We have built some also in Nakulu. We have gone all the way to Nakulu.
Right.
Yeah, so most of those states, those are counties.
Do you feel like the government isn't doing enough for widows? Because for you to be attending to all those, I mean, if housing is really a need, and I know there's a big debate going on in Kenya about affordable housing.
Yeah.
When they're thinking about affordable housing, would you then say that the government is not doing enough to reach out to all these people? Because if you're talking about 4,000 and you're only in 7 counties so
in 7
far,
counties.
By the time you do another 40 counties, how many other widows are out there?
Actually, we need help because it is more than for one person. It's too much. Yeah, not even one church can do it. We need the whole country, the government to be involved. Of course, they receive, I think they ordinarily receive some money, but that one is not enough to, The other challenges they have when the husband died, the in-laws, and also they come and interfere with where the place they are staying. Some of them, they take the Shabbos away from them. Yeah, I remember two of the widows, they were homeless because they were kicked out of the place.
So how do you deal with that?
We advise them to report to the chief. I tell them I can't be their lawyer, but I will advise them. And it was 5 years ago, and last year, we had to build one of them who was kicked and she was relocated back to her home. So we had to build a house.
So she managed to get back
after she got the title, we promised that she would do that. But we were not involved in all those.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
But she got it, yeah.
That is really regal. What you're doing is very, very noble. And I think there are very many people out there who would be asking then, how do you recruit these people? How do you identify these widows?
We have people on the ground. We have 2 ladies and one young man who is my youngest brother. Yeah, actually now they are on the field. They usually go on the field. What we do, we go teach them in every village. Then we ask them, we encourage them to choose their own leader because they know each other.
Yeah.
And we don't deal with the widows in the cities because it is very complicated. You only know who is a widow of, but in the villages.
Yeah.
So they teach them how to come together, pray together. Then among them, they know who is needy. The one who is not with a home, without a home. Then we visit them. We have to visit those homes. Actually, the crew on the ground, they visit. And when I get there, I go and do interviews.
Right.
To make sure that the land is theirs.
Yes.
And also to make sure that they are true widows, because some of them are single ladies. Of course, there is need, but we are called for the widows.
There's a particular group that you're targeting.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what we narrow down to somebody who is needed. And you can also see the situation they are in. So if you have money for 5 houses, we have to narrow down to the very, very needy ones that we can accommodate for the money we have for 5 houses.
Right. Yeah. I have 2 questions. One is about the size of the houses or the plan or design, because some places have different needs. There are places that, do wood houses. There are places that do matope, like meat in na matope. There are places probably that. So that is one of the questions. And the other question that I want to ask you is, what if someone then decides to get married? But let's talk about the first one.
First one, houses. Yes. The houses are 15 by 30.
Okay.
Yeah, they're quite big. And we use timber.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why areas like Makueni, we cannot build houses because of the termite.
Yeah. Because
we use the timber. They use the bricks. And the bricks, they will take a lot of time, and we don't have that. And also, they might be expensive because of the time. The material may be cheaper, but to prepare the bricks, it takes time. So it's the same size, the same cost.
So what happens to now the people in Makueni?
In Makueni, this is another project we do. We do water tanks.
Also, you don't do houses in Makueni,
We give them water tanks. Okay. And we also have the projects of chicken coops. The chicken coops that we use also timber, so we can do it in Makueni. And measure. And so we usually use the ones that areas, even in Mwea, we could not build the houses. And there were so many needed because of the termite also. We gave them water tanks.
Okay.
About 40 widows received water tanks in Mwea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you alleviate then the need for a house by giving water tanks? If someone needs a house?
We always tell the readers, here in this area, we are focusing not on the housing, but water tanks.
Okay.
Because if they bring the needs of the house, we're not going to meet them. Yeah, that's how we deal with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So someone decides to get married.
Someone get married. The Bible allows that. The Bible allows that. If someone is a widow, if you get somebody who will take you with your whole baggage.
Kupata mutu.
Yes.
Mutu apate mutu.
You pata mutu and your children, they accept you with your children and your baggage. It's fine. But we always tell them to go through counseling. Because let me tell you, one of the success attracts even evil things.
Right.
If these widows were homeless, some of them are young, and there are men there who look, she has a house now. Yeah, they'll start visiting there, they can be deceived.
Right.
Yeah, so we caution them, we teach them, and we ask them to involve even their readers.
Right.
If they are, they're very careful. 2 of them got married.
I wanted to ask you even if them has gotten married. 2 of them got
married, and they kept the house. You can't take that away from them. Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. They are young. Right. Some of them are 40 years. Yeah. They're still young. Yeah. But we made sure that we were involved also in prayer and and also the local pastors because we encourage them to join the churches.
And so they keep their journey still with their spiritual.
But they don't join the group anymore because now they are not widows. If there is anything that we are giving the widows, they don't benefit.
Okay.
They don't benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like groceries. Yeah. Not only do we give, we also feed them. And there are times also we clothe them according to the need. And right now, Sheila, maybe I have not talked about that. We have 7 students in high school.
Okay.
They're orphans. And we have 2 in college, technical college. Yeah, one is doing electrician, the other one is catering.
Hang on. You said they are orphans.
Yeah.
So it means they were widowed. I mean, the mothers were widowed, and then they passed on.
These orphans, they become orphans. Their mother died. They died and left the children with the grandmother.
That's so sad.
And there are many. There are many. Let me tell you, we need the grace of God when you go there and you are walking away from a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are helpless. You don't have money. You can help them.
Right.
This I remember one of the homes we visited. We found 5 children, and I looked at them. I realized these children have not eaten. Even the grandmother, she was weak. And I asked them, have you eaten? They said they ate yesterday. And what did they eat? Ugari and water. The tea with the tea on it, turungi.
Yeah.
Turungi.
Yeah.
You can imagine that turungi, no sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to make it worse, even the unga they ate, they had borrowed from the shopkeeper there. They went to the store and got a packet.
Right.
A packet. Those kind of things. Fortunately, that we always carry, our car is filled with bundles of rice, ugari, jogo, or what. We got bread. So we gave them a whole bale.
Right.
A whole bale, yeah. So those are the things we go through.
So how do you fundraise? How do you access all these resources to be able to reach so many people? Because those are quite high numbers of people that have so many needs.
Yeah, actually, let me say, we grew from 1 house to 3 to 4. It's just by the word of mouth. Let me say there is no organization that, like a group, we get money from. We have tried, but it is just individuals. And since I told you I used to do conferences, when I do conference, I used to go to Dallas, even here in Seattle, and other areas, wherever I go preach, I tell them what I do.
Yes.
Among them is somebody who will say, hey, I need to partner. I need to do something. I need to help you. And during, even when we do the conferences, we would ask people whether you want to be partners. Then we have a chapter. Like here where I am now, in Seattle, we have a chapter. And that's why I'm in the city now.
Right.
Preparing, because I'll be leaving at the end of the month to go to Kenya.
Right.
See how they come in. We are projected to build 25 houses.
Okay.
So as the chapter in Seattle, how do we come in to build the 25 houses, 60 water tanks, and 15 of the chicken coops. And also, how do we support those children, the students, 7 students in high school and 2 of them in college. Wow. And then I have a chapter also in Dallas and a chapter in Oregon and California chapter.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how we find. And we have now 2 churches that are coming in. In the church I go to, Cross Point, they also support us and individually are doing well. I have friends.
Right.
So it's that when people trust you, Shira,
yes,
they'll give you.
Yeah.
It took time for people because people have been cornered. They have been conned. So I did not blame them.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until they see this thing. Yes.
They have to authenticate what you're doing and just be sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, doing the right thing.
All the help that they give is going to...
But now I can say we people they trust, and they also come with me to Kenya. Most of the time the people just, even and also the Kenyans, I might say they are doing very well. Most of those houses are been built by the Kenyans here in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have done. Although the churches also support, but the Kenyans also have been supporting them. Right. Now, not the churches, let me say the individuals also in churches.
Yeah.
Wherever I go.
Did you have to register an organization in the US so that you can use that now to reach, these people?
Yeah, you cannot.
Maybe there's a good opportunity to also tell the people what the organization is and how they can also reach you.
The organization started when I started preaching. Of course, I didn't want to preach belonging to nowhere. Yeah, it's called MISPA Ministries International. MISPA is MIZPAH.
Okay. International.
We also have a website, www.themispaministries.org. And also the Facebook. We do have the Facebook. And so I had to register that. Then under that, then it's a 504C. So if you give, of course, it's tax deductible. Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, and so under that, when I went to Kenya, we also registered. Yeah, because now we will be operating in Kenya.
Yes.
We have the MISPA Widows Projects.
Okay.
Yeah, in Kenya.
Right.
Yeah, so in our Facebook, we have MISPA Widows Projects. So we fundraise under the ministry here. So if people are giving any money, they give at the MISPA Ministries International in the US.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you also have people in Kenya donating to the project?
Not as much, no. No. I'm not going to lie. Not as much as I expected.
Right.
Because most of the people they know.
Right.
Of course, they encourage me.
Yes.
But I want to be encouraged with the substance also.
Yes. Because that's what you're going to deliver to the people.
And it's not like they don't know.
Yeah.
No. Even
Right.
I don't think the government can say they don't know, because I've spoken to some of the people who need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they can support
They
you.
can support, or they need to know. They need to speak about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
speak about it. Yeah,
Right. So what would you say is the greatest challenge that you face as you carry out this very noble
It's
project?
fundraising. It's so hard to convince somebody, unless the Lord is with you to give you favor. One of the things I do is to pray for favor. Yeah, I don't have that gift. Some people, they have the gift of they can even get money from your pocket.
Right.
They're gifted. I don't have it. So it is. I don't have it. It's I
Yes.
tell you what I do. Hey,
Support me here.
Support me.
Yes.
Support me.
Right.
But that pushing and trying to sweet talk things now.
Yeah.
Straight to the word. This is what we do.
Yes.
Now we have about 50 widows waiting in a waiting list, and we are projected to build 25. And let me tell you, Sheila, when God has called you, that one I never failed to say, because last year in December we had projected to build 25 houses, and came to a point that 1 week before, we don't even have, we are not close to that. Do you know, by the time I came back in January, we had built 29 houses.
Beyond what you had targeted?
Oh yeah, exceedingly abundantly more than you can think.
Wow, that's encouraging.
Yeah. And if you ask me how we did it, I don't know the how. I cannot say A, B, C, we did.
Right.
But the Lord spoke to people who have been giving before they doubled.
Right.
And new people. Actually, one of the things we are encouraging people, tell somebody about it. Do you know there's somebody who will support me because you told them?
Right.
That if I try to tell them, they won't.
Well, I hope this platform also gets more people hearing about what you're doing, and that people can come in and support also.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is great. What would you say is the greatest achievement? Like, what is that one incident that you felt this just melted your heart?
Yeah, one of the achievements, and it did not happen a long time ago. It was a few months. Actually, it's the last visit.
Okay.
We were visiting in Nanyuki, near Laikipia, near Nanyuki area. And we were just visiting the widows. We had gone to visit them. She lives near the river. So you could see the way the house was. And thank God we had built before the floods came. We had visited and made sure that she's not on the list. She's not so close to the waiting list. But because of the way she was, and she told me, when it rains, she has to make sure she puts the post to lace her mattress, because the house was always flooded. The house was always flooded. So we had already decided with the team on the ground, we're going to do something. We're going to bring her in the front line. And she did not know.
Right.
So the following day when we were visiting, she saw us, and they were coming from the prayer meeting. And she came and stopped. We saw her and gave her a ride. Then she asked me, Pastor Wanjiku, how would you know, can you tell me how God answers prayers? How does he choose to answer somebody's prayer and my prayers? Why do you ask her that, Lucy? She told me, because we had just come from the widow's prayer meeting. We are planted, but it's not raining right now.
Yeah.
But people are praying it rains. It had rained and stopped.
Yes.
But I'm saying, God, don't let it rain.
No.
Because what am I going to do? Either I die or what?
Yeah.
Then all at a sudden, the Lord spoke to me, tell her prayers have been answered. God answers all prayer. I told her, Lucy, the Lord has already answered your prayer, and he'll answer even the other widow's prayer, because we have already decided to build the house for you.
Wow.
Then I was like, Lord, it's because of the people who gave. How would I have answered that question? How would I have answered? Yeah. So I came back and I was telling people, do you know, because you gave, that woman believed God answers all prayers.
Right.
Answers all prayers. Right. So she celebrated. The other one we had is that lady that they had not eaten the whole night.
Yeah.
It was because we were there about 3 p.m. And you can imagine the children of 3 years, 4 years. They had ugari the previous night.
Yeah.
With the turungi. And that ugari, I don't think it was eaten. You wake up in the morning, nothing.
Goodness. That's sad.
But we were able to feed them, and we left a bale of uga with them. And actually, did I tell you, we also built a house for them, because we were living in one room. We built a house, We bought a water tank and we built a chicken coop for them. That at least they will have income. And we bought chicken for them, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We are approaching the end of this interview, and I want to give you an opportunity to probably speak to the people directly, so that whoever is out there that probably needs to hear about this and maybe come in and support, you can look into that camera and just address people straightforward, give them your message.
Yes. Yeah. It is a great, noble work. And based on James 1:27, and speaking even to those who believe in the Bible says, the true religion that pleases God, putting a smile on God, is to visit the widows and the orphans at their point of need, at their trouble. So what we are doing is pleasing God. It's not something that we started. It's a call. And I would like and I would love if somebody would just support us. There's a widow waiting there, like Rosie, who is asking, does God answer prayers? He does. And thinking about the spiritual side of it, there are widows who are encouraged right now, who would have committed suicide, and now they are smiling. The Bible says when you put a smile on somebody, God will also do. Proverbs 11, verse 25 said, those who water, they will be watered. So if you feel you want to support us, you are more than welcome. We have more than 50 widows, the ones that we have visited, waiting for a home, waiting for a chicken coop that they don't have to borrow anymore. They will be in business. They don't have to walk 2 miles to fetch water. We buy them water tanks. Join us. Our projected time now, we are going in 2 weeks' time, and we are projected to build 25 houses, buy 60 water tanks, and build 15 chicken coops, and you will help me. I pray that you will join me and help me. You can join us and through the website, www.themispaministries.org, or you can also do the Zelle, those who are in the West, those who are in the US. The Zelle number is mispawidows@gmail.com. Mispawidows, that's a one word, at gmail.com. And if you want more information, you can call me. I'll give my number, 951-768-0900.
Before I let you go, anything that we probably didn't touch on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I encourage also us to be fellowshipping together. Mm-hmm. One thing I know, God has blessed us to be a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I like the way the Kenyan community in the West, I'm talking about because we live here in the US.
Yes.
Yeah, in the US, we can do wonders, especially also if we continue to encourage each other and give back to the community.
Right.
Not just the widows. Mm-hmm. There are so many needs there.
Yeah.
And be found doing something.
Yes.
God spoke to Abraham and said, you are blessed to be a blessing. Recently I've visited, I've attended so many funerals. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to the people, nobody talks about the many cars they had.
No.
And here people are blessed. You go to an average home, there are 4 cars parked there.
Yeah.
Homes that God has blessed us, big homes. Mm-hmm. No one said, they live in the 5-bedroom house. Mm-mm. But most of the people are listening to the story is somebody who paid school fees for somebody, who built a house for somebody, who encouraged somebody, who availed themselves that somebody can lean on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it as people that God has blessed us to be a blessing. And that's what we do. Yes, it's not like we can enjoy the money here, no. And actually, let me tell you, Sheila, when I go to Kenya, most of the people, they ask me, my age mate has retired. Mm. And they ask me, how come we are doing this? You're up the hill. The work we do is not easy.
Right.
You go up the hill, you visit those widows. Sometimes it's so slippery that I fell one time.
Right.
They ask me, how come we are doing this when we are retired? Yeah. And I ask them, it depends on the call you are, the career you are in.
Yeah.
And I feel this one I'll do until the Lord comes. And the God renews our strength.
Yes.
Renews our strength. Let's be a people who give back to the community. Whatever you do it. And also, if you cannot do it, join the ones that are doing it.
Right.
Yeah, join the ones that are doing it. Finance them, go with them, visit them, and encourage them. so that what I can do, let's do the work of God.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us and for making this sitting very, very helpful. Yes. I've learned so much from you.
Yes.
And what you're doing is noble. Keep doing it.
Yes.
And I believe God is going to ensure that his work is done through
Amen.
you
Amen.
and those that come on board to do
Amen.
it.
Amen.
Thank you for coming to TCTV1 USA and the Tony Shira Show. And out there, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, for watching us, and for coming through and even being with us up to this point. You heard the interview, you heard the message. Join in and give the support that you can. See you on the next one. My name is Tony Shira. God bless. Remember to subscribe, share this video, and also drop your comments. We will leave the numbers down here for those that would like to contact Pastor Wanjiku so that you can support in whichever way that you can. Thank you and God bless.